Sorry, I'm just getting myself organized here. We've had some technical difficulty this morning getting set up. So yes, so welcome. It's great to see you all here. A little bit of introduction about the conference. As I say, this is the 30th time we've run it. I can't believe it, that it's been such a big thing. And this year we're doing it jointly with some wonderful colleagues that we have at the University of Sao Paulo. And I'm in Sao Paulo in Brazil at the moment. But what we've done since COVID is we have gone out of our way to make the conference more accessible to online people. So here you are. In a moment, what I'm going to do, well, I'll just give you a little overview of what we want to do in this session. The first thing we're going to do is go through and a little bit of an overview of the conference. I've begun that now. Then I might get you folks to introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about what brings you to the conference and who you are. So get to meet each other a little bit. And also what I want to do is I want to welcome the people who are listening to this recording today. What we find is a lot of people listen to the recording. We've got used to this kind of asynchronous mode as well. So welcome to everybody who's listening to this recording when it goes online, which will be shortly after this. And the last part of the session today will be Tamsin will give you a bit of an overview for the online platform and how it works. So firstly, excuse me, the conference. So since COVID, we've built this notion of a blended conference. And in fact, as Tamsin says, we have 280 pieces of digital media. So we encourage the in-person people as well to record their sessions so they're accessible to the people who are attending purely online and vice versa, of course. And one of the advantages of this format, and we kind of in a big hurry built this platform when COVID came as a way to see our way through the pandemic. One of the great advantages is there's a lot of asynchronous discussion. And the way that works is whenever you leave a comment under one of the recordings of the sessions, it triggers an email to the other people in the session, the other people who've been involved in the conversation and the presenters or presenter or presenters. So we have a little plea, which is please always never leave a session without making a comment. And one of the interesting things about it is it gives more scope for discussion than is often the case in an in-person session where it's a bit rushed and there are just a couple of questions at the end. And this is an open-ended space for conversation. So we really, really encourage people to do that. And in fact, even the people who are in person, we say, go to the online page and put some comments in even when you're sitting there in the room or reflecting on it later. So that's an important part of the whole conference. There's a huge amount of material here. The plenary sessions also are going to be recorded. So I can't recall offhand which ones of them are being presented live, but they're all going to be recorded either way. So you can access the plenary sessions whenever you get a chance. But just a little bit about Common Ground and the research networks. What we aim to do is build up this idea of a network of people who are collaboratively working on knowledge, in this case, the future of education. And we've certainly in a time of incredibly disruptive change, there are a whole lot of forces around social diversity, which we have to negotiate in education more than ever in the past. They've become more sensitive and more crucial, but also the technology aspect of our environment. Here we are on Zoom, talking to each other as a series of Zoom tiles. That's come upon us quite suddenly and a lot of stuff forced on us by the pandemic. So what we've been doing with Common Ground is trying to build a platform which includes everybody. And yes, Francisco, thank you for putting that. Welcome. Great to see you in the chat. And what I'm going to get you to do actually is, folks, while I keep on talking, when I get you to introduce yourselves, if you're presenting, find the page and put the URL in the chat. Do it now. And then what I will do is I will, as I do the introductions, I can bring up your page one by one. So that's a little bit of work while I'm talking. If you can find your page, if you're presenting, and put the link in the chat, that would be great. But look, a little bit about Common Ground. It's a research network. It's about a knowledge community, which is building knowledge in all these areas. And what it involves also is, crucially the conference. So we're building up a resource here in the conference itself. And now we're recording all the sessions, and there's going to be a legacy archive going forward of all the conference sessions as well. So that's a great resource. If there's a presentation you really liked and you're thinking, oh, what did that person say 6 months ago? In 6 months' time, I mean, what did they think 6 months ago? You can go back to it and you can look it up. But also, we also have a peer-reviewed journal and a book series. And what I'm going to do is just briefly share my screen so I can show you the dimensions of that. So I'm just juggling the Zoom screen. I'll go share screen. And if you go across to the bookstore tab in Scholar, this is what you will see. And in fact, over the years, I'm just going to move it over a little bit and say, it's now gone funny shape. Let me just change it to a better shape. You can see here that over the years, we have actually published 5,000 books and articles. Incredible resource here. So we really encourage people to put it in. It goes through a very rigorous peer review process afterwards. We really encourage people to submit afterwards and to be participants in peer review. This is a thing about mutual obligation, where everybody's in this together, and we're all contributing to each other's work by giving each other constructive feedback. So this is the articles. Now, one very important thing you need to know is that there will be invariably something which is very close to your interest amongst 5,700 articles. Use the advanced search button and you'll find a treasury of stuff here. And by virtue of being research network participants, you will be able to access all that material. So that's a brief introduction to the platform and the network and the work of the network, from the conference through the journal. And also there's a book series, so you've access to all the books that we've published in this area as well, here in this area. And in fact, there's a book launch coming up at 2 p.m. So please come to that book launch particularly if you're interested in STEM education. It's some people who've been very close to this research network for a number of years who produced a book on STEM education. And there's another one later about the education in relation to the Holocaust as well. So 2 book launches coming up today. So if you'd like to join those live, please do so. So I'm going to stop. Actually, I won't stop sharing for the moment. I'm going to see if anybody has put a link in the chat. I'm going to go around the Zoom tiles, and if you can find your session and put the link in the chat, that would be great. But if you can't, I'll just get you to speak. I'll just go around the Zoom tiles and see if I can get each one of you to speak. So I'll stop sharing for the moment and just keep an eye out in case someone puts their link in a chat. The first one I have, the name is Afnan Haj Ali. You're my first Zoom call. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and where you're from?
Yes, sure. Hello, everybody. I'm from Israel. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the Department of Education at Ben Gurion University of the Negev in Israel. My research focuses on equality of work life, cultural value, and work values in the Arab education system in Israel. And the current research for the conference deals with examining and measuring the dimensions of quality of work life and Islamic work ethics, and the relationship between quality of work life and Islamic work ethics.
Okay, no, very, very, very interesting. Yes, no, very, very interesting. Tamsin, I don't know whether you're listening still, but that link didn't come up with anything for me. I don't know why that is. You might have to get a link. And actually, Tamsin, while I think of it, if you are able to put the links in for the other folks as well, yeah, it didn't load correctly. That's right. If you can put the other links in, I'll go around in the order of the links. There it is there. So I'll share my screen again. And we will see your session. Everyone will see your session, including the folks listening to the recording. So there we go. There we go. There's Islamic quality of life among Arab high school teachers in Israel. And I can see you've had 17 people visit the page already. One of the things, I mean, this, this might be very different to what you are interested in, but one of the bits of advice we give people is go to sessions which are quite different from your area of work, and you might find there are some really surprising and interesting crossovers. So I can see here there are a lot of important methodological and thematic implications that come out of this work. So that's great and welcome, and great to have you here at the online version of the conference. The next person I have online is in my Zoom tiles is Patricia Nicol. Hi, Patricia. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. I'm presenting on my doctorate from Queen's University in Belfast, focusing on a Freirean analysis of the views and perspectives of primary school teachers on the education of children in care.
Okay, that's great. What I'm going to do is I'm just bringing up your session now. And of course, we were at, there we go, very nice. And you've had 69 engagements already, which is great. So yes, we were at, I don't know whether we met you there, but we were at your university for the conference.
Yes, we did.
The year before COVID. So that's great. So, and welcome. So it's great to be able to connect again in this virtual way. We're a long way from Belfast here in Sao Paulo, but it's great to be able to connect despite that. Let's see, the next one I have is Marielle Justine Sumalong. How are you, Marielle?
Hi. So good evening. It's actually a few minutes past midnight where I am from. So I'm Marielle Sumilong. I'm from the University of the Philippines. I am an instructor and a graduate student. And for my presentation, I am presenting the initial insights of my master's thesis, focusing on how affective learning is integrated in speech communication classes, because I teach speech communication, instructional communication in the higher education level in my university. Thank you.
Hey, great. And look, it's great to have you here, and great to have you joining us from the Philippines. This is one of the advantages of the whole post-COVID universe, where we've got used to these kinds of interactions and people are able to connect to mightn't be able to travel quite so far themselves. So welcome, great to have you here. The next person I have is Paulo Boa Sorte.
Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Paulo Boa Sorte. I'm from Brazil, actually, from the northeast of Brazil. I'm a professor at the Universidade Federal de Sergipe, the Federal University of Sergipe here in Brazil. And currently I'm doing research on generative artificial intelligence. And the title of my presentation is going to be Brave New ChatGPT, Navigating the Intersection of Writing Ethics, Creativity, and Intellectual Property in the Age of General Artificial Intelligence. So I'm working with, well, I've been inspired by Huxley's Brave New World universal literature, this a dystopian novel. So this is what I'm going to present. It's going to be the day after tomorrow, actually, a themed presentation and a themed panel.
Fantastic. And look, this certainly is a disruptive moment. The generative AI has been enormously disruptive. You know, I happen to work in this area as well. And as a matter of fact, Mary Calancis and I will be doing a plenary session. I'm trying to think of what day it is, not tomorrow, the day after, which will be recorded. Are you with us in person, Paolo, or you're online?
Online.
Okay. Yeah. I know, but actually, room 8, you'll be with us in person on the 13th. No?
Yeah.
No, maybe not. So anyhow, the session will be recorded for those folks who are, our session will be recorded, and yours, it's great to hear that this is, as I say, profoundly important. This is a huge shift in education. And, in fact, my sense is that this generative AI stuff in some ways is as big as what the internet was, in terms of its potential impact on education. It's something that happens every 20, 30 years in terms of the level of the impact. So it's great that you're thinking about that. So I'm looking forward to your session, and welcome. The next person we have, Francisco Patri Dahoy, but are you presenting? And by the way, if you've got a microphone that doesn't work, or you're in a noisy Starbucks, you can just write something in the chat. So, no? Okay. All right then. No worries. Well, welcome anyhow. I'm sure you're able to hear us. The next one that I've got in my Zoom tiles is Malel Souza from UFS. This is a session which looks like, it's in Portuguese. Hey, welcome. Great to see you, Malin. If you'd like to say something with voice, do. Otherwise, put something in the chat. Perfectly fine. It's really up to you. And thank you very much for being at the conference, and thank you very much for contributing in this way. We do have a number of sessions in Portuguese as well as in Spanish. So we have a big Spanish language contingent, but also we have a number of Portuguese language sessions as well. All right, the next person I have across my Zoom tiles is Beatrice. I can't see any other name there, but yeah, and it's a pleasure to have you, Marlene, and wonderful that you're able to present that session. Also from Sergipe. I've been to Sergipe, came to the university once a few years ago, so it's nice to be nice to be connecting with you as well. And you're just participating, Peter. Excellent. And welcome, great to have you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention briefly, I'm not sure whether I can find this in a big hurry. Oh yes, back. Oh, this is the, mention the journal again. For people who came a little bit late, there's this fabulous resource. Please use it. I don't know whether I said this before. Don't just read it, cite it. One of the things we do with our colleagues is we honor their contribution to our thinking by citing their work. So we'd like people in the network to use this resource, and please cite the material that's there. What I'd like to mention as well is the next couple of years of the conference. So I'm going to go to our main website and mention where the conference is for the next couple of years. So this is our principal website. This will help you in finding how to navigate your way around. The research networks here, the conferences are here. And if I go to the conference calendar, this is the one we're at the moment. So this 2023 is at the University of Sao Paulo in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The 2024 conference next year is going to be at Utrecht University in the Netherlands, Converging Challenges for Inclusive Education, Intercultural Competency. So it's going to have a big focus on diversity and intercultural issues, but of course, all the issues that we deal with in education are in every conference. We just have a special theme for each year. And then the 2025 conference is going to be back in Granada. So we've been to Granada before. In fact, this might be our third time back to the University of Granada, which is just a wonderful, wonderful place, where we're going to be talking about the technology stuff. So next year, diversity, the year after, technology. But of course, we talk about technology and diversity every year. So that's giving you a bit of a foretaste of where we'll be going in person. And of course, we'll be online every year as well. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And I'm just wondering, Tamsin, are you able to do the online navigation session?
Yep, so I'm here, I'm ready. What I'm going to do is share my screen and then I can go through how to engage in the conference through the CGScholar platform.
So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. You know, have a wonderful conference. You know, go to as many sessions as you possibly can and never leave a session without leaving a comment. It's dialogue that matters. So yes, please do that. So I'll say goodbye to you all. Bye, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. You know, how many times have we been on Zoom and still figuring out how to slowly share my screen here. So maybe you could just give me a thumbs up or someone, if you can just make sure that you can see that. Thanks for that. So I'm just going to go through the CGScholar platform. Sometimes I talk too quickly. It's a fault of mine. So if I go too quickly, we are recording this session, but in addition, please write in the chat, ask me to slow down a little bit, or if I skip over something a bit too quickly, please write a question in the chat as well. I'll go through everything now, and then we can have some time for some questions at the end, if that's okay. So this is CGScholar.com. There are a number of different ways to get here. Oh, forgive me, I've just clicked something. This is the event schedule. You can get there through the website. If you're already logged in, you will not have a login in the top right. You will need to log in to access all the content and videos and digital media and sessions for the conference. So please make sure you are logged in. If you can see a login in the top right-hand corner of any page, whether it's this page or the other previous one I was on, it means you need to go ahead and log in. So from this page, I'm going to go ahead and click on the profile page here. I highly recommend that you update your profile. Your name will be hyperlinked in the event schedule and in everything related to the conference, and it will go to this profile page. At the very least, please update your microbiome and your current experience. Make sure to make your current experience primary. So I'll go ahead and show you that here. The experience that is listed as primary in your affiliations will be the one that is listed next to your name in the profile. So please go ahead and update that. Another way to get there is just by going down here and going to your name in the top right under account settings, and you'll just get straight to this page. If you go ahead and click on community, it will take you back to that page that I originally was on with my profile, but it'll also have a list of communities here. You will have the learner community. I have quite a few. You'll at the very least have the learner, which you would have been added to when you created your registration. This is sort of a community page where people can add updates. There's fast links to the conference, little snippets of information about the conference and things like that. I'm struggling with some bad internet today, and I'm also impatient, which is another fault of mine as we go through here. So I'll wait for that to open. While we do this, I will show you the event schedule. So there's many ways to get to the microsite. If you go to your name here and down to your events, you'll be able to click on the 30th International Conference on Learning, and you'll be taken to this About page. This About page is a little bit more about the conference. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is the special focus for this year, as well as the themes that are recurring every single year. There's fast links here to the book imprint, as well as the journal collection. We have this download e-program conference user guide. You'll be able to download that as a PDF. It's basically everything that I'm saying today in terms of engaging with the conference, as well as a history of the conference, some more information about the plenary speakers. So if you like, I encourage you to download that. If I have gone too quickly and you don't feel like watching the video, all this information is at the end in the user guide there. Submit a proposal. So I have not submitted a proposal, and this is why mine says submit a proposal. If you are presenting at a conference, this tab here will say your proposal. And that is the page where you need to upload your digital media. All online only presenters present asynchronously. There is no live presentation times for these people, for these presentations. They rely on a digital media upload as their presentation form. This digital media upload can be either a video of you presenting, a PowerPoint with an audio file over the top of it. It can be your PowerPoint, a piece of written text, images, a PDF, a number of different things, embedded video from YouTube and from Vimeo and things like that. Please, once you upload it, please give us 10, 15 minutes. We're trying to review them as fast as possible at the moment because we do understand it's the day before the conference. So please give us some time. Once it has been reviewed, you will receive an email saying that it's been accepted as the digital media for your presentation. Your registration will look a little bit different to my registration. Mine's a complimentary common ground registration, but this is where you can download your receipt and also see a summary of all the extra events that you might be signed up for. I'll skip ahead from presentations to for a minute to the special events. If you scroll down to the special events here, you can sign up for things like the closing reception. This is the session we're in now, and anything like that. I'll go over here to presentations. I think I brought up the community page now. I was just impatient, so excuse me. So these are the updates, and you can see other people joining the community as well as fast links to the conference there. This is also a space where you can click on other members of the community and add them as peers. I'll go ahead and close that tab. This following tab will be unique to you and unique to your login and profile throughout the conference. These are the presentations that you are choosing to follow that you want to go back to. So I'll show you how to follow a presentation in a minute, and ones that are of particular interest, you can keep going back to see if there's any more comments in the discussion board, and you can do that quickly by clicking this following tab here. We have a great group of emerging scholars at this conference. Our emerging scholars are graduate students, early career scholars who have applied for the Emerging Scholar Award and been selected. We have both in-person and online emerging scholars, and we like to highlight their presentations here in the featured tab. So please go ahead and take a look at those when you can, and you can access them all easily by just clicking on that here. By theme, let's say, for example, I'm interested in the special focus. So I'll scroll down through the themes and find the special focus here, and I'll be able to see all the presentations listed that have chosen the special focus theme. I can go through, click one by one. As I said, everyone's names will be hyperlinked. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll use Miriam as an example here. Sorry, Miriam, if you're here, and click on her name, and fingers crossed that she has already completed her profile. But then also what I can do is go ahead and click on the title of her presentation. That will take me to the title, the abstract, as well as more information down here. I actually can see that Miriam has not uploaded her digital media yet. If someone has not uploaded digital media, you can go ahead and request that digital media by clicking this button here. They will receive an email saying that someone wants to see their digital media for the conference. When they upload, you'll receive an email as the requester saying it has been uploaded. When you request digital media, that will automatically become one of your following presentations. So you can go ahead and go back to your following tab, like I said earlier, and it will show Miriam's presentation there. And we can see, oh, I'm not sure why we can't view Miriam's profile at this time. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I was impatient again, double clicking too much. So we can see her presentation there. By type, say for example, I'm interested only in poster sessions. I can go ahead and scroll down to the poster session section here. And this is by type. I might just be interested in workshops. So we have a lot of theme paper presentations I can see. So I can look at all the posters listed there. And alphabetical is kind of self-explanatory. It's alphabetical according to the name of the presentation there. I'm going to jump over to the schedule now to show you a little bit more about the discussion boards. And wait for that to load a little bit. I'll take a quick look in the chat and see if I can, I'm not going to be able to find the chat now while I've got this up. I've got too many things open. So you can see here that this session says live online only. When it says live online only or Zoom, it is a session that has a link in it that you can join. So you can see after this afternoon, we have, well, directly after this, we have the online featured book talk, Innovating STEM Education. The link for that is there in the chat. And there will be a recording of that session that'll be embedded as digital media after the session. So say we're using this online book talk, for example, The video will appear here. If you have a question for the author, you can go ahead and write that in the discussion board. They will receive an email when you do write in the discussion board. So we can see day one, we have the conference opening and the plenary session. These plenary sessions are recorded and uploaded right after the session. As you can see, there's no live, online only in there. This allows for us to, to get everyone as possible online and their video uploaded. If you have a question for the plenary speaker, please write it in the discussion boards. As I just said, they will receive an email. So basically the gist is everyone is notified when there's comments in questions in the discussion board. These are the parallel sessions for the in-person conference, but what I want to do now is come over to the online only tab. One thing I failed to mention before I do that is if you're interested in both the Spanish and English sessions, you can flick between the Spanish language sessions here and you can see them there. So it's sort of a quick link over to those Spanish sessions. So now we can see these online only presentations that are asynchronous. We can see there's 4 presentations in higher ed matters. These papers have been themed together in this panel. So you can go ahead and click on the title of the presentation there. When you click on the panel title, you'll be taken to the page where we can see a short abstract for each one of the presentations in that panel. Now we can see here that these presenters have View Digital Media next to the title of their presentation. So I can go ahead and click View Digital Media there. It will take me to your proposal page for this person, which is called the presentation page. And we can see that this person's uploaded a video. Now, say I want to ask, I'm going to look about the name of the presenter, Isabel, a question. I can go ahead at the bottom of the page and click page here and click join the discussion. Now you'll notice that this is the name of the panel. It's not the title of the presentation. Each panel has a discussion board, not the individual presentation itself. We do this because they are themed for a reason. We want to look at the connections between the presentations. We want to look at maybe not the connections between the presentations, how they might disagree or contest each other. And so we encourage you to look at all the presentations in the panel and think about how they've been formatted together. The same way we do this for the in-person presentations. We have the 20 minutes for, let's say it's a themed paper presentation. We have 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. We do the questions at the end. So we do that question and answer time together for a reason, so that we can think about these connections and how they've been themed together. I'm going to go ahead and go back. So as I said, the discussion board is there for those, and you can view the digital media. So there is no live element to these sessions in the sense that it's all asynchronous. The discussion boards are open now. The digital media is available now. You can start looking at the digital media in your own time. There's no ultimate time zone for these things. So I understand. I think I forgot, one of you was it? I've forgotten who was in at midnight. So I encourage you strongly to go to bed and start watching the digital media in the morning. But the rest of you can go ahead and start looking at that in your own time when you're ready. I do feel as though I may have gone too quickly. I'm going to scroll down and I don't see any questions. Does anyone have any questions about engaging in the conference as an online only delegate? Maybe I've skipped ahead too quickly, which I'm always nervous about. Sorry about that. So let me know if you have any questions. Doesn't seem like we have any. Hi, Francisco, you're waving. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put my name and email. I'm going to put the email address in the chat if you have any queries. Please feel free to reach out to us throughout the days of the conference if you have trouble viewing any digital media or you can't see anything. Please make sure you're logged in, and please also remember to update the details of your profile and add people as peers. And as Bill said, comment in the discussion board. We do have the emerging scholars in there commenting as well. And yeah, as I said, reach out to us. It's a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm looking forward to an exciting you know, few days, having a look at digital media as well as watching those plenary sessions. So if you can, please join us for the next book talk in about 20 minutes or so at 2 o'clock Brazilian time. I'm not in Brazil, so do use a time zone converter if you need some help with that. So with that, I'll leave. And I hope you all have a nice afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever you are, and an engaging few days. So pleasure. Have a nice time.